Hello, you all. Hi, it is Tis. Good day. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope all are well. Hope all are safe. I'm going to try to spit this out in one breath. But just a question from the inside looking in or the outside looking in. Are you the cause of this mess in the world? And I don't mean like, are you the one making the mess? Are you the reason for the chaos in the world? And I'll explain it. Okay, so you'll have, as I mentioned too, you'll have a particular caliber, particular group of people who are deemed God's children. Now I understand everyone say, okay, well we all come from God, or God made us all, or you know what I mean? We're all supposed to be just one when it comes to the human race. Which is true, like okay, we are just one when it comes to the human race. But when it comes to the chosen people, we are not all just one. Because we all don't mean well. We all are not suitable for the position, and we're all not equipped for the challenge. Because let's just say we all are chosen. Okay, everyone's chosen. Everyone is God's chosen people, and everyone are supposed to be taking the wheel of the world. And if you look around, this is probably the reason why the world is in chaos, because the wrong people are behind the wheel. And I ask, are you the reason for the problem? Because the world can only go as crazy as the people. You see what I'm saying? The world itself is just literally a spinning rock. Like, okay, I'm a spinning rock. I have water, grass, air, leaves, fire, all of these natural elements that just comes with earth. Okay, that's just earth. And what about the people on the earth? You know, what is the mindset of those people? And right now it is destruction. So do you think if I am the rightful ruler of the world, I would be trying to destroy the world? You know? So keep that in mind. So that's why everyone is not chosen. You get some people who can't stand the sun. If the sun comes with this, it's not necessarily a part of the earth, but it's a part of the whole entire universe, the whole device. Like, okay, yeah, the clouds are probably not necessarily connected to the rock called earth, but we can still use whatever that is in the sky, or whatever that is as far as the that spectrum or barrier before you get to the galaxy, whatever else is out there, out and beyond. You know, that's another connection too, but it goes over my head. So like, it's so big, it's so much to fathom. And now I mentioned, now as far as who calls themselves in leadership, or who calls themselves quote unquote ruling the world now, is literally only destroying the world. And I don't know if they have it going crazy now to lower numbers, to as far as to do like some type of basically kill off a lot of people to lower because they claim, oh, everything's overpopulated, or we have too many people. The world is overpopulated, but you'll think like, if that's true, then how are you able to open the door and say, come on in? Now, are they saying America is overpopulated, or just the world? Because if that's true, again, like, why do you say, okay, come on in, everybody, to make this mess a little bit more messier, you know? So I think it's safe to say that things are out of balance because the rightful people are not in their rightful place. And anytime the money crash, mind you, money, like as far as the dollar bill that you know it, the folding dollar bill, or the money that's printed in a factory, that's basically fake money, and that's just pretty much like collateral. Like, okay, for instance, okay, well, instead of me giving you gold, so to speak, I'll probably like, okay, well, here, just take my maybe just take my car in the meantime. So the money will be considered, okay, I have a vehicle, here's the vehicle for your trouble, or here, this and that. But there's nothing that's really fully, like, we're not actually using gold, diamonds, or, you know what I mean? We're not actually using something that's, in your hand value. We're using the dollar bill, which is kind of like, it's a collateral. So basically, this isn't the real wealth. I'll give you a bunch of ones or a bunch of 20s, and it's like, okay, well, you just have a bunch of ones and 20s. But it's like, where's the gold, so to speak, So with that being said, if I'm pretty much just using collateral, and the collateral is coming to a close, then it's probably like one of those things where it's like, okay, well, the dollar bill will no longer exist. So basically, what is happening is it's a fall of one empire and the rise of another. So this is supposed to be the fall of the, I want to say the machine world, but it looks like the machine world is trying to come up now. Whatever this area, what is this? Would this still be the? I don't know. Maybe the imposter Roman Empire. We'll just call this the New Age Roman Empire. So the New Age Roman Empire is on its way out the door, if not already. And I'm thinking the only thing that's keeping it afloat is people keeping it relevant. So that means if I'm a part of the Roman Empire or the imposter Roman Empire, then I'm basically on my way out the door. Me and all of my trinkets are down to zero. So that means, okay, so the dollar bill's flying out the window, the workforce, the politics, I think that's been going a long time ago too. So basically all of this nasty system is falling. And so basically they want the machine world or the Oculus world, metaverse, all that to rise. And then therefore making you irrelevant again, So I'm thinking the world is in havoc or going crazy right now because the rightful people are not in their rightful positions. And it's like they what they call apples is not apples, and what they call oranges is not oranges. So basically what's good is evil and what's evil is good in this nasty cycle that we're in. And I only mentioned, like, are you the reason for the world being crazy? Because it's like, would they rather crash and burn, or would they rather get rid of the dollar bill than put you back in your rightful position? And if you look around, that's what it's looking like it's going to happen. That's what's happening. Like, literally, like, oh well, the dollar is going out of business. And do you really think, and when it's time to pay the piper, that's going to be a good excuse not to, there's no such thing as, you know what I'm saying? That's why things are shifting right now. Because they can't fathom handing over the keys to you. And I'm thinking the reason why we don't realize is because we're stuck on, instead of stuck on who am I, we're stuck on men and women. You have this complex where the men are like, okay, I'm the man, you're supposed to worship me or follow me or whatever. And then you have the woman, I'm the woman, and you come from me, there will be no arrogant men, so it's like, I think everybody's stuck in ego. You're in your ego and in your mind instead of focusing on the bigger picture. You know who the men and women are, okay? That's not the issue. You're a man, you're a woman. And yeah, you might be a little effed up right now, but that's not the issue. That's actually a distraction, because what's more important is not that I am a man or a woman. It's who the hell are you at the end of the day as this man or woman? That's the number one question. And do you have anything to do with the chaos going on around you? And I would say yes. And not everybody, but a certain caliber, even if it's just me. And I've seen this happen with my own eyes, where literally things will crash and the whole party will stop upon my entrance or exit. Like, literally, I've seen it where literally the entire fuse will be blown, if you will, once I enter or exit the building. So I know if there's 1 million people out there, or 10 or 20 people out there that are like me, then I know we have the potential to change the world, which is what's happening. The world is changing. It's supposed to be for our demise, but most of the time what's meant for evil turns out for good, as it's been doing. So I mentioned who are you really because there's a lady, she's from America, and she was saying, like, basically how she grew up. She just grew up, regular old, American Negro, black Negro, Democrat, basically the 1, 2, 3. If you call yourself being a Negro in America, you're supposed to be 1, 2, 3. Like, you have a certain title, that's it. You use the nicknames, that's it. You do these religion or this religion, that's it. So she said one day she was thinking, like, who am I really? Like, excuse me. She said, who am I really? Like, outside of the expectations, outside of the nicknames. And she was really pondering on it to where she, was really looking for an answer. And she said that, excuse me. No, excuse me. My allergies like to kick in at this time. Yeah, so she was basically looking for answers. Okay, who am I really, like, outside of, nicknames, or outside of, just being labeled or put in a bubble. And she said one day, she said she's been having issues with her molar. I think she had the first molar, so I don't know if that's considered wisdom tooth, but basically like one of her back teeth, so to speak. So she's like, well, I was trying to figure out a way to salvage my tooth, because it's been giving me issues, and it may have to be pulled if they don't do, root canal and all that. So she was like, well, how can I do it to where I can save the tooth, and, have it to where it's minimal damage. You're like, okay, well, you'll need a root canal, or you basically have to do all this work if you want to keep it, but the simpler job will just be just to have it pulled. So she was like, okay, well, just instead of going through all that trouble, I'll just go ahead and just pull it. And she said upon getting her first molar pulled, this well-experienced doctor and assistant, I guess they've been doing this for 20, 30 years. Basically, they know their teeth. So the lady said that she really was struggling to get this tooth out. She was like, wow, it's loose and everything, but I'm really having a hard time getting this tooth out. It's like really in there. And basically, by the time they got the tooth out, she was like, oh, wow. She was like, well, this tooth here, that explains why it was, so hard to come out. You have a 3-rooted tooth. Like, this tooth has 3 roots, and I've never seen this before. This is actually extremely rare to have 3 roots in your tooth, because it's like not every day. If we're one who sees teeth all the time, and we can say in all of our years, we have not seen a 3-rooted tooth, man. She was like, oh, wow, this is very rare. So the lady, she was like, okay, wow, well, since it's rare, can I keep the tooth? They're like, oh, no, because it might be infected. Basically, no, since it's a health hazard, no. And that's another thing, too. They keep your parts. That's why they say if you can help it, try to keep your parts. Because even if it's a tumor or, a disposed baby or whatever it is, or they keep those parts. So it's like, what do you want with my, my quote-unquote rotten or quote-unquote infected tooth? That you think will just get thrown in the garbage. But no, they don't throw that. They keep the parts. That's an FYI too. So she did her research, and she was like, okay, well, she did her research on the 3-rooted tooth. So like basically when you have people with 3-rooted tooth, who usually has 3-rooted tooth? And they said the highest number of people who have 3 roots in their tooth are Asians and Native American. So if you do your research, it's like, So you already know there's African, you have African, Native, and African, what is it? Basically, like African-rooted Native Americans and African-rooted Asians. So basically, in other words, these are dark-skinned people. And not to say that they're actually African, but you know what I mean? Like, okay, you have those roots. But then again, though, when we go to African, they said that Africa had a low percentage of 3-rooted. So that basically there's not very many people with 3-rooted tooth. So she was basically saying she's either of Native American descent or Asian descent. And like I say, the Native American part will make a lot of sense because we are on a Native American turf. You see what I'm saying? And if she's actually from here and she's just been given a label, then it's like, you can do the math on that. And they said that is what happened with a lot of people. When they call themselves doing slavery or call themselves remixing and nicknaming people, they'll take you, and you can be like, oh, I know, I'm so and so from the customer service department, and you would think you know who you are and where your position is. Like, oh no, you're the janitor. So literally, you went from being so and so from the customer service to just janitor. Like, what kind of janitor? So notice how there was a change in the roles, and I'm thinking like, I can believe the whole Native American thing because they'll tell you one thing, just even, you're this and that, but it's like it's been remixed. When you see Native American now, you don't think of nappy-headed, dark-skinned. Even when you might think of copper tone, because when I see them, like, anytime I think of like very like red tone copper, dark red, dark brown skin toned Native Americans. That's what I think of. But normally you won't. These days you won't think of that. You just think of basically some pink purple person with some feathers on. So that's what I'm saying. Because even when it comes to the African, you'll think, okay, we're all African, but it's like, well, who the hell is Elon Musk then? He's into the African. You know, so it's like, is he an African or am I? You know what I mean? You think of African, you think of Elon Musk. You see what I'm saying? See how tacky that is? So that's why it's important with the whole nicknames. Like, if you go, clinging to nicknames, and it's like you won't really know who you are because you're stuck on the nicknames, and that's all you know is the nicknames. What was I before I was a thug? What was I before I was called Cardi Bitch? You see what I'm saying? Before Not So Sexy Red came through, who was I and what was I doing? Trust me, there's a reason why you're being fed dizziness. There's a reason why the children and the youth are being destroyed. Because it is you. So with that being said, so I'm thinking you would, at this point, you would have to do your own research, because you can't really say like, okay, I'm just going to go and ask, because there's a reason why your information and your identity has been hidden. Because once you actually do know who you are, then it's like, okay, hey, you're going to change it. Like, oh, wow, I've been royalty this whole time. Or, wow, I've been the ruler or the owner this whole time, acting like this. But it's like you're acting like this because you're told you're nothing, and you're told that, okay, this is what pays the bills. The buffoonery is what pays the bills. Doing the right thing is just going to have you stagnant. That's the message. Yeah, so, be mindful of that. All right, be well, be safe.